Hello world, Shelly here, and today I've got for you my summer favorites. I have a giant bin of stuff, and we're just gonna go through and talk about what I've been enjoying so far this summer. I don't know if this looks weird. I am not sure if my housekeeper might have bumped my camera. Does this look strange? Is it just that I'm filming for the first time in 2 months and I feel weird? I don't know. Something looks weird. Angle? Something. I don't know. We will find out when I go to edit this, but what I've got are a bunch of products I've been enjoying, and I'm also going to mention a couple things that I sorely missed. I just got back from a 7-week trip in Ireland. Everything you've been seeing the last 7 weeks has been pre-filmed, and Friday's foundation video was also pre-filmed right before I left, but I'm back now, and here we go. So, first thing I picked this up in Ireland, but you can get it here as well. This is from Essie. It is their nail polish, and the shade, I looked it up earlier, now I can't remember. Ladylike. This, I'm not wearing it because I just took it off. This is a wonderful, cool-toned nude shade. Do you see these claws that I have going on? Holy cow. I love the water in Ireland because I swear it's the water, the tap water. It makes my hair and my nails grow so fast. I have to trim these claws off. But this lasted nearly 2 weeks without chipping. It is the absolutely perfect shade of just a neutral but cool toned that, you know, doesn't bring a ton of attention to your nails, but makes them look elegant and pretty. And it goes with the makeup that I'm going to show you. Actually, this eye look is pretty similar to what I did almost every day while I was out traveling. And it goes very well with this color scheme. So thumbs up to Essie. And how did I forget the name already? Ladylike. The shade Ladylike. Speaking of makeup, Fame, ColourPop. This probably could have been the only palette I brought with me. I used it pretty much every single day. Absolutely love it. Cool tones, wonderful. If you wanted a dupe for the Marc Jacobs, let me grab it, Stiletto palette, this one here, that I also love so much, and I did bring it with me. I used my ColourPop palette more often. A lot of similar tones in here and much cheaper. Still available. You can get the Fame palette. I think it's $23. But you know, you can always get these things on sale. So thumbs up to Fame. I really could have lived with just this one. I wasn't going to talk about dislikes, but I'm going to do a little sad moment here. You know, I loved this limited edition quad from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It did not survive travel. It broke on the way there. The shimmers. Both shimmers are now practically useless. I mean, I'm still going to try to use them, but thumbs down. I'm not going to buy any more shimmer singles from ABH. That's for sure. Waste of money. Or don't travel with them. But you know, the thing is, it's nice, it's small, it's compact. It's like practically begging me to travel with it. So that did not work out very well. Okay, let's talk about something that I wish I brought with me. And if you follow me on Instagram, you definitely saw me mention this several times in my stories. I'm sorry to complain about it over and over and over again, but this drove me insane, and I'm paying the price now. I forgot to bring with me my Science Serum Bright and Tight. And two things happened. The first thing I complained about in my stories was about 2 weeks after I got to Ireland, and my dark circles came back screaming. Like I looked like I'd been punched in the face. And then, as time wore on, I was gone for 7 weeks. All the good lifting I had on the hoods of my lids, it's still a little bit there, but they're getting puffy and they're getting droopy. And it's because I'm not using this, and it made me so sad that I forgot it and I couldn't order anything because we moved around a lot, so there's no good shipping address. Anyway, Bright and Tight Science Serum. This stuff is a miracle for my eyes. The two things it does for me, it's one of the only products that has ever cleared up my dark circles so that they're barely there, and there are ingredients in here that help your body to remove any of the excess fluid around your eyes, which some of that excess fluid is, if you have leaky capillaries, that's the, purple. So if your dark circles are caused by that, this stuff will help a lot. And clearly mine are caused by that, because when I stopped using this for 7 weeks, I got my dark circles all back. And the other thing it does, it's similar to the tie-dye product. It's got similar ingredients for that purpose. I use it, especially on the hoods of my lids, to give a little bit of lift, which gives me a little more visible mobile lid space, because otherwise, if I don't raise my eyebrows and I just look forward, you see that on the outer corner especially, most of my mobile lid is hidden. So now, thankfully, I talk with my eyebrows up a lot, but anyway, I missed this sorely. I am so glad it is back. I used it today. I love you so much, Bright and Tight. I'm sorry I left you behind. It was accidental, I promise. And I'm back on the Bright and Tight. Thank goodness gracious for my eyeballs. Let's talk about probably my favorite thing. I am wearing it today. CoverGirl released some Stila Glitter and Glow dupes. They are called the Exhibitionist Liquid Glitters, and I am wearing today I'm wearing shades, I had them out and now I lost them. I'm wearing shades 2 and shade 7 on my eyes today. They are practically a straight up dupe, all the way down to the style of the packaging. The thing I love, they're far less expensive than the Stilas. You get very similar application. They apply wet, they dry down quickly. There's little to no glitter fallout from them. They stay put all day. I have not found a glitter shadow that is as similar to the Stila as these. These are fantastic. I brought all the shades with me to Ireland and absolutely loved having them. Now I just need them to make more colors. Please, CoverGirl, make me some more colors, because remember, CoverGirl is now also cruelty-free. Thank you very much. All right, the foundation I wore the most, even though I brought my Dior Forever Skin Glow with me, the one I wore the most was this Tarte Found Sealer. Thoroughly enjoy it, wearing it today. I like that you can build it up or wear it very sheer. You can apply it with fingertips or with a sponge or with a brush, depending on the coverage you want, and it works wonderfully well any which way. So it's very easy to do a quick look, very easy to do a full face. I also brought the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie with me. Loved this for fuller coverage. But this was the one I wore the most because I didn't wear a ton of foundation. I wasn't doing a full face every single day. I was wearing makeup, but not as much on my face because, you know, it's very humid there, rainy. A lot of things we did had physical activity. I knew I'd be sweating. I didn't want to wear a whole lot of layers on my face. So, thumbs up. Found Sealer has worked very well for me. I also used my Pink Squad Benefit Cheek Leaders palette a bunch in particular. Love this blush shade, the Dandelion shade. I have this in a single. It's the Dallas bronzer. I kind of use it for bronzer contour. I do use the Hoola bronzer occasionally, but it's a little too warm toned for my taste. I thoroughly enjoy this highlight, although I didn't use it as much. Once I purchased, while I was there, I picked up the mini cheek leader palette that has the cookie highlight in the center. That is the one that Mel Thompson has been raving about. And I'm wearing Cookie today. I love it. Does it beat my Natasha Denona Super Glow? No. The reason why I think Cookie is just a very nice silvery highlight, the Super Glow from Natasha Denona is like glass skin. It doesn't pull silver, it just looks like glass, and I like that better. But this is beautiful for a silvery highlight. I love a silvery highlight. Thumbs up. I also really like the blush shade in here. And I can pull off this bronzer even though it's a little bit darker than the other one. Especially since I kind of do it as a contour, like bronze tour anyway. But thumbs up on the mini palette with Cookie. Thoroughly enjoy. Let's finish the makeup before I get into skincare. So, you guys know I love my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Finish. This is still an absolute holy grail. This is shade number 1. And I picked up a couple things that I was hoping to see if they were dupes. A lot of people, I think Emily Noel might have been the first one to point this out, the first one I saw anyway, the Milani Soft Focus Glow. She pointed it out as a dupe. Let me grab my shade 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury. Let me show you. Performance-wise, close to a dupe. The Milani is a little bit more opaque, so you kind of... I like the Charlotte Tilbury better because it's a little less opaque. It kind of can be like a Your Skin but better. And the Milani, I feel like I have to do a full face, but that is partially due to the shade. So I'm going to swatch and not blend out. That is shade 1. Here is shade 2 of the Charlotte Tilbury. And then I'm going to put next to it the Milani, just so you can see the tones. Because the reason for me it's not a dupe is the color. I am fair-skinned, obviously. And let's get some of this. Don't blend. Stop blending. Okay, let's see how well this is going to translate on camera. The bottom shade is the shade 1 of Charlotte Tilbury, Fair 1. The middle one is Fair 2. And the top one is the Milani. And the Milani is just a bit darker than both of these. It's darker than shade 2 even. And shade 2 is my summer shade that I would wear in the Charlotte Tilbury. So the problem here that makes it not a dupe for me is that when I put this on, I would need to be self-tanning, I think, for this to be a dupe for one of these two shades. If you wear one of the darker shades of the Charlotte Tilbury, I think you definitely could call this a dupe. But for shades 1 and 2, I don't think it is. The product performance is dupe-like, but the shades, it's just not a dupe for shades 1 and 2. So I will say that. And the other thing that I had been trying that I actually enjoy quite a bit, not quite a dupe either, but it's the CoverGirl Vitalist Go Glow Luminizing Lotion. Now I'm going to put it on this hand and show you guys what this looks like. It's actually more like a lotion. It's exactly what it says it is. It doesn't have quite the same thickness that the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. Do you see? It blends out like a lotion. You know, it blends out like a very sheer application, but you do get just a little bit of luminosity. So it's not the same purpose. It is, however, if you were using the Hollywood Flawless Filter underneath your foundation, if your intent was just to give a little bit more glow to your foundation, yes, this is definitely dupe-like. But if you were trying to do a no foundation day and use, you know, I would use this as sort of the thing to perfect my skin and give a little glow. It won't give you that smoothing skin perfectingness because it's just not quite thick enough. I don't want to say the Charlotte Tilbury is not thick, but it's just not quite, it doesn't give that smoothing effect quite so much. It's more of a luminous. It does the luminosity very nicely though. So if you're wearing an under foundation to get some luminosity, thumbs up. That's an okay sign. Oh boy. So not quite a dupe, but something I also thoroughly enjoyed while I was traveling. Couple more pieces of makeup. I've got some mascara here. The Flower Beauty Warrior Princess Warrior, oh goodness gracious, Warrior Princess. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm wearing it today. I like it. It's one of those like volumizing. It does sort of clump your lashes together just a little bit, but if you've got enough lashes to pull that off, it's a-okay. I like the brush. It's got one of those sort of dense, bristly, hourglass-shaped brushes. So if you're looking for a volumizing mascara, I am enjoying that one. I have now fully tested the Estee Lauder Double Wear Zero Smudge Mascara as my lower lash mascara. Nothing beats it. This is fantastic. It's Holy Grail status. I've proven it. I have worn this in heat. I've worn it in humidity. I've worn it in the rain where I got all wet. I wore it to a movie that I cried in. Nothing smudged under my eyes. And I've got long lower lashes that touch my face throughout the day and usually leave little spots under my eyes. Not with this stuff. It has now been totally tested in many, many conditions. Holy Grail. Yes. Oh, lipsticks. Okay, the one I'm wearing right now. I picked this up in Ireland. I just checked. You can get it here. I love the L'Oreal Color Re-Shine lipsticks anyway, but this is the Plump and Shine version. I'm wearing Coconut Plump is the color of this one. These are probably the first and only lip product I've tried that claims to be plumping that gives me as much tingle and as much plumping sort of circulation appearance as the Buxom lip glosses that were my Holy Grail. This comes in a bullet form, little bit different application. It wears just about as well as a gloss, a little bit longer because it is like a cream-based formula, but you definitely get that tingle that gives you that sort of rush of circulation to your lips and gives you a little plumping to it. They touch up very nicely. I'm absolutely in love, going to get more of these. They do carry them. I just saw them on Ulta's website. Target had them as well. So it's not just available out in I picked this up in the UK. I was in Northern Ireland when I got this. But they are available here, and happy days. Absolutely love them. Two more makeup things. I've been thoroughly loving the Pat McGrath. What the heck is the name of this thing? It is the Skin Fetish Highlighter Balm Duo. This is when I was doing no foundation days. You've got a sort of a glow stick on one side with highlight, and then the balm side just gives you a nice sheen. It's like the glass skin thing, but to a lesser degree than something like the Natasha Denona Super Glow Highlight. But this was good for days, especially when I knew it was going to be humid or I'd be sweating. I don't like to have a ton of powder products on my face when I know I'm going to sweat, because for some reason I feel like they don't stay in place as well as a cream product does. And for that reason, I wore this quite a bit and loved it. That's been in my favorites before too. But last makeup, well, two things. Primer. I'm almost done with this sample of the Base Tape Hydrating Primer from Tarte. I loved it on no foundation days. Of course, foundation wears over it wonderfully well as well, but when I didn't want a ton of layers on my face, this served very well for hydration purposes, and very thin, very lotion-like, sinks into the skin. It's not going to do a lot of smoothing or pore filling. It's not for that purpose, but it's great for hydrating. And the CoverGirl, what are these called? I think they're called the Outlast Lips. They're the two-step lipstick where you put the color on first, then you've got like a little gloss stick to wear with them. I bought there's two nudes. I got a warm nude and a cool nude. I wore the cool nude far more often, and the reason I love these, they stay put, and by the end of the day, unlike some of those super long wear lip products, they don't start cracking and looking gross. They look nice and hydrated throughout the day, I think because of this gloss. Here they are swatched. The bottom one is the warm tone, and the top one is the cool tone. I wore the cool toned one far more often because it went really well with the Fame palette as well. But thumbs up on these. These were the first of the Outlast lips that I had tried, and I really enjoyed them. I think everything else is pretty much skincare. Well, this is in between. I now will call this officially my favorite setting spray. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set. The reason I enjoy this, it's got an almost identical ingredient deck to the MAC Fix Plus, but it is cruelty-free. So if you were looking for something cruelty-free that you can use that is very similar to the hydration and the staying power of a Fix Plus, this is your guy right there. And, okay, now I have some skincare. Let's do a fragrance first. I had a sample of this. I also bought the full size. This is what I wore the most when I was out traveling. It is the Philosophy Amazing Grace. Thank you to everyone that recommended that I check this out when I did my favorite fragrances video, because I probably never would have purchased this, and I love it. It is, the study abroad program, I'm working most of the time. Like, yes, I'm in a beautiful place and it's fantastic, but I have to meet with a lot of people in a work capacity. My students I have to interact with on a professional basis, so I don't want to smell like seductive or, this isn't a, night out kind of fragrance. It is a very clean, very fresh, very somewhat subtle, but, understated. Not subtle in a you don't notice it way, but subtle in an understated way. And I feel like it works really well in professional settings. It is just enough to be, that little hint of fragrance that is just very calming, very soothing, very happy, very pleasant, very good for wearing to work. So thank you for recommending that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I already bought the full size. It is lovely. Some skincare, wrapping this up. If you watched my last empties video that I had run out right before I left of the Lancome, the Youth Activating Serum. So while I was in Ireland, I bought the giant size version of it because this is just a fantastic step one in my morning and my nighttime skincare routine. Also works really well on the days when I knew I didn't want to have a ton of layers of things on my face. It's like an all-purpose, get your skincare regimen going. Your skin's not going to fall apart if you skip a few of your other steps for a few days. It's going to keep everything balanced and in line and happy. And I just love this stuff. I have nothing else to say. I've gone through 3 small bottles and now I'm on to giant number 4. Now here's what I think is probably my favorite skincare item of recent memory. The number 7, Boots number 7, do they still call it Boots number 7? Boots makes it. It's number 7. I got my first tube here in the States. I repurchased it while I was traveling. It is the booster serum, the line corrector booster serum. I use this primarily on my smile lines and my crow's feet and my forehead lines. And one of the foundation videos while I was traveling, one of the comments was, what smile lines? Because I always talk about what's wrong with my face for people that have not seen my foundation reviews before. And my smile lines don't stand out anymore. They just don't. I mean, they're there. Barely. Fantastic. This stuff's great. It's worth every cent. I've been also using the Inky List Heptapeptide. I didn't want to bring my Peter Thomas Roth peptide with me because it's so expensive and it's a glass bottle. I didn't want to break it. So I brought this one, less expensive, not quite as many peptides, not as many, like cooperative ingredients, I guess you'd say, but still very good. And again, we're going to talk about not wearing a ton of layers on your face. This product has a consistency that if you want to use it as a makeup primer, you can. It's got an almost tacky base that is perfect for going under your foundation. So if you're looking to save a couple layers and not have to put on a separate primer, use this. You get your skincare. It works very well as a primer. I'm not going to say that it extends the wear of makeup, but it does give a nice smoothing effect to the skin and does have a little bit of grip to it. So it might extend makeup. I really didn't time it to see how well that works. But good multitasker if you want to use it that way. I'm going to give a shout out to my Good Molecules Instant Cleansing Balm. This was one of my favorites on the less expensive side of the fence. I didn't want to bring my ultimate favorite, the Drunk Elephant Balm, because of course it's very expensive and I didn't want to travel with it and risk it getting lost in my luggage or whatever. Brought this one, very happy I did. I love this stuff. It works really well. Mainly I want it to remove my eye makeup without getting in my eyes. And it does that very well. I want to minimize the rubbing on my eyes because that causes wrinkles. So thumbs up to the Good Molecules Cleansing Balm. I just got some PR from Good Molecules. This wasn't. I purchased this myself. But through this purchase, I got it at Beautylish, and they sent me some more of their skincare. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to test it out for a month or so don't peel your eyes or you'll be blind for a month. But I will be testing out some more stuff from Good Molecules and report back to you very, very soon. And last, I want to give a final shout out to European sunscreens. I've been on my sunscreen soapbox because this is the time of year when I need it the most, and Europe does such a better job. Also, Korean sunscreens, basically anyone except the United States, does a fantastic job with sunscreens. They have improved ingredients over the years that make sunscreen more comfortable to wear, less greasy to wear, more effective, particularly when you're talking about UVA protection, the sun's rays that primarily contribute to aging and photoaging, but they do also contribute to skin cancer. The UVB rays are the ones that give you your burn and do most of the damage that causes skin cancer, but the UVA rays cause skin cancer as well. And the US does not have any new sunscreen ingredients approved by the FDA in the last 20-something years, since the mid-80s. I'm not going to do my math right now. It's probably even longer than that. But these European sunscreens, this is Soltan. This is made by Boots, and I'm almost out of it. I'm down to the very bottom. I just brought it home so you could see the empty. The key here is it's 5-star UVA protection in addition to the SPA 50+ for your UVB protection. And I'm pretty much going to just be using my European and my Korean sunscreens from here on out because I don't trust the US sunscreens. They don't measure the level of UVA protection, and their ingredients for UVA protection are outdated and not as good or as comfortable or as easy to wear as ones you get in other countries. So I enjoyed this. I went through the whole thing. This is the Face Protect and Moisturize Sun Cream. Wears wonderfully under makeup. It does impart a bit of a dewy glow. So if you're not going for dewy, it is pretty dewy. It's not greasy, but even if you put foundation over it, you are going to have a more luminous complexion based on just wearing this. Thumbs up, loved it, almost out of it, bought a ton more of it. I will have a sunscreen video coming up as well because I bought several different brands of European sunscreens with the good UVA protection, partially to test them out, to tell you about them, and partially because that's all I want to wear on my face now. So thank you, Europe, for being good at making sunscreen and protecting us from skin cancer. Thank you very much. That is everything that I laid out in front of me that I have been digging throughout the past 7-8 weeks or so of summer. I will do a wrap up when summer gets to the end. I just placed a couple of giant orders from Ulta and Sephora. I've got so much new stuff to play with, so much new stuff to tell you about. And I bought a ton of skincare when I was in Ireland. So I've got a lot of new stuff to talk about as we roll through the rest of summertime. There you have it, my summertime favorites as they stand at this moment. If you enjoy favorites videos, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup, skincare, and all that good stuff with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.